the recording started, Brian.
Oh, we're on?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to the latest edition of the, what do we call ourselves now? The FPL America podcast. This is Brian Shesko.
Travis Oig.
And David Smith is not here with us this evening. He is on a golf trip. And so, Travis, I was going to ask you if you wanted to handle the sprawling go nowhere story to open the podcast tonight.
Oh, okay. Well,
do you have anything that you would like to open with?
So many things.
That is wildly irrelevant to Fantasy Premier League, but a good way to start the podcast nonetheless.
Yeah, absolutely. The first thing is this golf trip is a golf trip that every one of our listeners is, regardless of if they listen to one episode or 100 episodes, knows about, because David talks about it every week. So
True.
First and foremost, I'd like to give fair warning that when he returns next week, he's going to occupy the spotlight talking about his golf trip again.
Yes.
Which I know, people really hate. We've received a lot of comments saying that we needed to stop doing that. So just be prepared for that. But beyond that, no, it's been a busy couple weeks. This time of year just gets busier and busier and busier. I do have a bit of good news that I found out. We talked about it briefly when we were getting ready to record. I was in a car accident a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it sounds like my vehicle is going to be repairable. That's a huge relief.
That's always a big relief.
I don't have to go shopping for
a not
another
totaled
car.
Vehicle that is within range of repair. At least that's better than what it could have been.
Yeah. So everything's good. Lots more soccer on the youth front for the end of the year. And so I am not coaching young middle school girls.
Good.
Just 10-year-old boys.
That's also fun.
And it's going to be wild. So 3 tournaments before the end of the year. A jamboree of 4 games this weekend.
Oh, wow.
That'll be fun. And that's not including the 3 tournaments. So a lot of fun things. I'm going to be very tired the next couple episodes, so I might just lay down and just let you guys finish the next few.
That sounds good.
But this week we've got lots that we want to cover, although we're going to try and be fast. But one of the things that we haven't done very well is celebrate our wins and commiserate our losses in terms of the calls that we make, and by we I mean mostly you.
We can't. If we did like a within pod or post pod fact check.
Yeah.
That
like
would,
Stat Boy from
yes, like around the horn
pardon the interruption.
Oh yes, pardon the interruption used to do that exactly. I was thinking Tone and Reality either way, but
guy.
Right, but no, if we could do that, if we could afford that, I would absolutely do that, because that would be the only way that we could avoid making name errors. We would obviously have way more knowledge immediately of who plays what position.
Yep.
I wouldn't have to come up with my own name pronunciations for things.
That's
Dave
good.
wouldn't have to guess. It would be a lot better. But you're right. We rarely ever, only if it turns really, really bad or extremely good, do we ever come back to revisit. What did we get right? What did we miss? And as you've titled it this evening, what ways is Brian smart and what ways is Brian dumb?
There's more smart than dumb.
So
I will say that.
What is smart? I guess this could fit in either category, and this is where Dave not being here is sad to me. It's just, do we need to review Burnley and Arsenal? How would you rate that? My last few weeks of diatribe against Arsenal.
Honestly, most of the talk has been specifically about one character in particular,
right.
who has on cue
done
everything that you said he wouldn't do or couldn't continue to do.
Mocked his ability to regularly do, right?
And he continues to.
He did it again
to score or assist from set pieces. And I mean, honestly, from a what did you get right versus what did you get wrong? I don't think you've been wrong about it. But I mean,
yeah,
come on, who could have called this?
I would just say, as far as Gabriel is concerned, again, I just want it to be clear. I would just be skeptical of his overall season-long returns, specifically attacking returns. So goal involvement, goals and assists. But every single week, it seems like we are just watching a historically great set-piece team. I will say he was not the dominant set-piece guy that he had been in the Premier League whenever they played. Who did they play in the Champions League this week? They played Prague, Sparta Prague, I think.
I think you may be right.
It was a pretty normal starting lineup, which we can talk about that when we get to the Champions League.
We're not there.
Europa League roundup, but they were a little bit. They were stretched a little bit. They still ended up with a pretty complete victory, but just less goal threat. It was more the Mikel Merino show in that game. But I would just say that what was the final score of Burnley? I just want to, for the sake of Gabriel, I just want to say I've never said not to own him. I have never said it's a bad pick to have him. I've said he's a very obviously good pick. I think just what I was saying was my concern has always been the narrative around this. People treating this like a unique discovery when in fact it's not unique or a discovery at all. It's been well documented at this point. It's just that he's doing this is an amazing once in a career type season that we're witnessing right now. But the final score of Burnley Arsenal was still
some goals to no goals.
2-0. It still ended up being 2-0. A dominant and yet still only 2-goal producing victory for Arsenal. Could have been a lot more. Ended up not being.
Yeah, and I guess that's a question. I mean, you're talking about revisiting Burnley. I mean, are you giving Burnley credit that they held it to that few goals, or are you saying?
I'm just saying I'm saying that it could have been worse, but every game that Arsenal has played except Leeds could have been worse, and that was, I think, that's all I think that has been the what I feel like is my point in this whole thing is that they did kind of what we expected. It was 2-0 at halftime. The Gyökeres injury ended up affecting the way they were attacking, and it ends up just kind of sputtering out. So they end up with 2 goals total. And anyone who captained Saka, I couldn't have been
that many, right?
No, it would have been one of those differentials that you would have looked at and said, like, this is finally the time. And it turned out that it was, in fact, not the time to do that.
I mean, so I had both of the Arsenal goal scorers in this this match. And I did not captain either of them.
Okay.
But the real sucker of this one, talking about people being dumb, is I didn't captain Haaland either.
Oh,
I went differential, and so I captained Urian Timber, which is fine because he got the clean sheet. Yeah. It was fine, but it wasn't as fine as captaining
not as fine as other
Haaland,
things,
right? So it would have been better. But
I was right. I will take this one. I was right about Mickey Van de Ven against Chelsea. I was right about Spurs laying an absolute egg against Chelsea.
Yeah, that was hard to watch.
In an awful game. I'm sure everyone with Van de Ven, like a lot of other players in the Champions League and Europa League this week, were really, really. I'm sure they were pumped to see him score a Heung-min Son-like goal in the Champions League this week. So, what did we miss? Did I overestimate Aston Villa or did I underestimate Liverpool? Where would you put that one?
Probably a little bit of both.
Okay.
It was probably a little column A, a little column B. Liverpool is, I think, starting to figure out that they can't keep sucking and be part of all the competitions they want to be part of. So it sounds like they're getting down to brass tacks and doing the hard work. that they needed to do. I have plenty to say about Liverpool, but at the end of the day, I would say they stepped up more than we expected them to, and Aston Villa didn't step up as much as we expected them to.
Yeah, a hilarious, pathetic performance from Aston Villa. I don't think they even generated a total of like 0.6 XG or something like that. They were just really not good. And a game never in doubt, it didn't seem like.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. I mean, Aston Villa looked dangerous on a couple of occasions, but at the end of the day, with a defense that's struggling as bad as Liverpool's defense has been struggling, they didn't threaten them to the degree we expected. They looked more comfortable than we would have expected. And the one thing I will point out about that is, I think that had a lot to do with the fact that Milos Kerkez was not as involved as he has been in all these losses.
Okay.
I don't want to single him out specifically and say he's the reason. He's not the reason, but he's a major contributing factor. And so their wins have coincided with the fact that Andy Robertson's been getting the lion's share of the minutes on that left flank. So I think that's a major factor. Whether that's Robertson's leadership or his play being more predictable, I guess is probably the best word. Settled. I don't know, but that's been a big piece to them being able to move forward. And obviously, we're not in the European results yet, but he continued that into Europe as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think those were like the major, just because that was such like the major talking points. I can't class it as a smart or dumb because I was on the fence. Whether you accuse me of being on the fence on purpose or I really was indecisive, I did not know who I was going to captain. I really did think, hey, if I'm going to take a chance, this was a week to do it.
Who you said you were going to go with.
I was not convinced on Haaland as a captain, given that one stat that the one stat that was floating out there about Haaland's performance against Iraiola's Bournemouth. Which he generated 0 goals and a pretty limited XG, all things considered, for him. I think what ended up changing my mind, there were enough kind of counter arguments floating out there by the end of the week.
Just form in general, right?
Well, it was more that so I have an amazing, we can get to it in a minute. Now, there are like this is like glaring numbers now for Bournemouth. If I had known what I know now, I would have presented that, and likely that might have changed my mind. But there were enough. Basically, it was enough to say Manchester City at home has been, that's where they've been most unstoppable. And so this is not exactly the same kind of Bournemouth team. This isn't the same kind of form, especially compared to last year. So I did end up captaining Haaland. In the most boring move you can possibly make.
Oh, it's good though.
Ended up paying off.
You needed it.
Yeah, I did need it. It ended up turning out to be a totally fine week this week.
That's good.
So, other than that, I think that's what we were smart about, and that's what we were stupid about. And now we should talk about the Europe.
I also want to give you kudos on. Not kudos on Danny Welbeck as well, who he continued to score. You actually talked about him being one of your captain options at one stage. It wouldn't have been a bad one.
Would have been fine.
But yeah, he played really well.
One of the few. There was only 7 forwards who got an attacking return this week. 7. And 2 of those were Raul Jimenez and Igor Jesus, which is, and they were assists.
Right. Well, and I mean,
and also the 2 things that I did ended up turning out great.
Did you pull in Mateta as well?
I had Mateta.
That was one thing you were talking about.
Mateta, and I already had Welbeck from before, but it was Mateta and Minta.
Oh yeah, that was the other one. It was
Minta
good.
was the other transfer,
and he got 2 assists,
right,
which is excellent. Again, so I mean, see, there's plenty of things to give yourself credit for.
Sure,
you went on a big diatribe about how great Minta was going to be, how great of an option that Jean-Philippe Mateta was going to be. So I think all in all, I mean, from a forward perspective, you did a really good job last week. So.
Yeah. It ended up,
and obviously Minta being a midfielder.
it
Sorry.
ended up being good. So this week in Europe, it was. So The Athletic has an article. Even I think they either posted it late yesterday or today at some point about why it was so. Why is it too easy for England in this tournament? England, the Premier League teams are, well, not Chelsea. Chelsea nearly completely blew it, but for the most part, I mean, just run down the list. City just demoralized, destroyed Dortmund.
Yeah, that
just looked embarrassing for Dortmund. Haaland scored again. Foden looked amazing. Of course, anyone in the Premier League screaming at Reinders and Doku, who also looked awesome in that game.
Yeah.
They did concede late-ish, but which is hilarious for them because they seem to manage to do that all the time.
But you can do that when you're four goals to the good, right?
Liverpool, obviously, not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily call it you wouldn't say they demolished. It was a neutralizing for sure.
Yeah.
I know there was only 1-0, but still, neutralizing Real Madrid is not necessarily an easy thing to do.
Yeah, especially considering that Vinicius and Mbappe were both playing, starting and playing. That's a huge, and Bellingham and fill in the blank. I mean, they've got a ton of threats. Connor Bradley did everything he needed to do, but I think the most important piece of that from a Liverpool perspective wasn't Bradley or even the defense not conceding. I think it was the fact that Alexis McAllister looks like Alexis McAllister, not a passenger. That's been a huge contributing factor to the team's form, is that McAllister hasn't looked like himself and has been in a bad run. And when he's on his game, he controls the midfield, and he absolutely controlled the midfield against Real Madrid.
Plus, you got another,
and he got a goal. So
and plus you got another man of the match or second tier man of the match, second place man of the match, runner up
Soboslai. Yeah, he's just incredible, absolutely incredible. Just I mean, the number of comparisons to a Steven Gerrard like performance has been kind of jumping the shark. But honestly, he keeps putting the performances in, and you can see it. You can absolutely see it. They need to tie him down. It does sound like they're looking to do that now, to keep him there long term, because he's definitely in his prime. He's not even. I don't even know that he's in his prime. He's still relatively young, so I think they've got a good number of years left out of him. So it'd be good if they can keep him.
Yeah, and Connor Bradley, of course, like you said, literally and figuratively smacking Vinicius in the face.
And I will say that generally speaking, if Liverpool is able to be aggressive in a match, and the soft fouls or the flopping isn't being called, they generally come out on top. But if they are stopped at being aggressive and pressing hard, and teams are laying down whenever they get touched, Liverpool really struggles with that. So this was a match where, surprisingly, the referee let a lot go.
You did not think that the Tchouaméni handball was a handball? No,
probably not. I mean,
I understand that it hit him in the hand. I just thought there was no flailing. There was no. My immediate thought was, I can't even believe they're looking at this. But they probably did need to take a look at it.
You have to. But
just a lot of whining about that seemed like after the fact, where I was like, come on.
At the end of the day, I don't really care. A win's a win. If it was a a draw or a loss, maybe we're talking about it a little bit differently because it affects the game. But in this moment, it didn't affect the outcome. I don't know why anybody would mess with it.
Shots. I don't think. I think Mbappe, not even like the minimal.
Yeah, he just
involvement.
Dribbled 10 feet and either gave it away or passed. So that's what you want. You want to be able to neutralize, like you said.
It was Trent's fault. Probably. I think
and that's the other thing. I mean, he got a terrible reception from the cop. Obviously, the age-old "Sing the Gerrard" song whenever he's there. He got booed every time he touched the ball when he came on. it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, and I don't know that it'll always be that way. But they're kind of tricky like that. Michael Owen still isn't really welcome there after what he did, and it wasn't significantly different than what Trent did.
Yeah.
So not great. I do think that game would have been very different if Trent plays from the start. When he did come on, he looked pretty dangerous, and they were able to get into the final third and in more threatening situations than they were before he came on. So I think a return leg or at Bernabeu is. I'm not holding my breath on another result from them, but we need every point we can get to. I don't know when that wouldn't happen
until the knockout rounds at that point.
Yeah, with the league phase the way that it is, it's not a group. So yeah,
and it's not a La Liga podcast, but Tchouaméni hurt himself in that game and is out for a while.
Yeah.
Spurs actually did destroy Copenhagen because, of course, they would do that. Van de Ven's goal, honestly, though, I mean,
quite good.
Just ridiculous. But it's weird. All of the results driving a lot of the sales, FPL sales, even in the midweek, just that little spike that the players who've done good midweek, the spike that they get in FPL, which is hilarious to me because I'm like, why are you judging it? This is like a step above preseason in a lot of ways. Some of the teams that they're playing, they are just like waltzing through them, and it's obviously not the same in the Premier League.
Right. So you're buying Dan Burn.
No, that's Dan
because of his goal.
Burn's goal was great, but that's exactly it. Even like Arsenal mostly comfortably dispatched Prague. They did allow a shot on target though, so maybe there's a crack. Maybe there are cracks forming.
I don't know about that.
Chelsea nearly blew it against Karabag. Esteval was awesome. Garnacho scored off the bench. Delap back off the bench. Pedro.
I'm kind of surprised by that Delap got minutes in this match. I think it just speaks to the fact that they're that desperate. Less about him, more about the circumstances.
The question I was going to ask last week that I totally forgot was to ask how many goals and how many teams would have Nicholas Jackson in them for this run of Chelsea fixtures, and I'll bet you he would have been quite useful because he was in this sort of the same kind of run of good fixtures last season.
Yeah,
he often was a very good asset.
And that's really the question.
And he's
though,
kind of playing good for Bayern.
Is he really?
Yes.
I haven't been paying that much attention. The only thing I've seen about Bayern is Luis Diaz destroying.
Yeah, oh my gosh,
Hakimi.
It was really bad.
It looked pretty gross.
Hakimi's out for
he was just
while,
bawling as he came off too. So it was just pretty terrible. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy seeing that one. Obviously, he's seen red, but
Liverpool.
Hey, he does not play for them. I wish he did still, but he doesn't. That was really rough. So you were getting ready to say what I was going to say. Keep going.
No, just João Pedro follows up 5 shots in the game against Spurs with 0 shots.
Yeah.
Yet another 0-shot game.
What an enigma.
I know part of that is, it's game a bit game scripty because they're a man down, and it's not not a. There obviously is going to be a little bit different, but still, I don't. One goal. Did you see the goal he scored against Spurs? We can talk about it later.
Yeah, it was kind of sloppy.
Right, yeah. It's on a horrible turnover.
It's just
in the box with a point blank pass and point blank shot, and I'm like, this is what everybody's leaping back on after what you just watched for how many weeks?
Well, one thing I will say is, one, he's in the position to finish the move, so there's something to be said about that, right? The other thing is that's kind of his deal. He's a poacher. He's absolutely a poacher. He's in and around the box, and he's picking up scraps, and he's poaching.
And they are playing Wolves.
And that's just how it is.
Yep.
So I think to your point, is that really what you're looking for from him? And I think from an expectation standpoint, yeah, kind of. That's just what he is. He's just he's the second, third ball off a deflection. He's not, starting any moves. He's not generally a cog in the move. He's just a distraction who finishes it off.
Yeah. And again,
he's good at it.
Yeah, it's Wolves and also Burnley. after Wolves. So the next two for sure.
Yeah. So all right. So Wolves are terrible. They're terrible. But you know who else is terrible? Who wasn't this week? West Ham. What the heck?
I don't know, because I don't know that there's an explanation for that.
How did they beat a Newcastle team that looks good?
Yeah, I don't know.
They look good.
That was a shocker.
And it was just like sloppy goals that were given away on a defense that is normally really, really organized.
Yeah, I don't understand it, because Newcastle then after it's been like this for like I'm not playing any sort of fantasy Champions League or any fantasy things whatever with Europe. I am assembling teams for So Rare still, which I know you love this
so much.
But it's still like, I don't know how, if you were picking based on performances, like you almost have to go opposite, because the teams are going from like these pathetic performances in the league to just like today, Newcastle easily defeats Athletic Bilbao.
Who's not a pushover team. They're a decent team.
Harvey Barnes looks good again, and the defense steps up, and a clean sheet, of course, because they're going to do that kind of stuff. Nottingham Forest, clean sheet again. I know they don't score anything, but still, like another clean sheet for Nottingham Forest. Again, outside the league. Sells was not the goalkeeper. It was John.
Oh, John.
Yeah, goalkeeper John. Morgan Gibbs-White missed a penalty kick in that game.
Excellent.
Aston Villa, they bounced back. They go from losing 2-0 to winning 2-0. I don't know. This is the part with Aston Villa. It's the part where I'm like, it seems like Villa fans have kind of been, and FPL fans, of course, have wanted it from the beginning of the year. But Malen and Motson both score in this game. Gasson started on the right wing. They did start Morgan Rogers, which I think was kind of up in the air for whether he was going to start in the game or not. And he started. They started a really normal team, and they crushed. And I like Ollie Watkins subbed on in the game, so it's not like they're running like Watkins is so far out of form, which is completely. I don't know who would have predicted that one given his end of season and his preseason, but whatever. It just isn't happening for him right now. But like, I don't know. And then Crystal Palace ends up smacking Alkmaar. Just another amazing Ismail Assar performance. Infuriating for all 11% of his FPL managers.
I'm one of them.
Mateta got an assist, but he missed a penalty kick in that game. So not great. The one big fallout of that is that Oliver Glasner said that Ismail Assar had some very, very small tightness in his hamstring before the Alkmaar game. That's a key reason, he said, why. So this is from FPL Harry by way of James Savundra, Sky Sports reporter, said that it was a key reason for Sarr's early withdrawal. And so I think, like FPL Harry said, small tightness in the hamstring, but still starting him the next day doesn't seem like the most sensible management, especially because he also referenced the busy schedule that they have for both club and country.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're going to expect from Ismail Assar, especially as they enter into the Dave Smith derby, the M23 derby with Brighton and Hove
He's going to love that one. He's in his own derby right now. On pod, he has reached out to us to let us know he's played the golf of his life today, and it's very important to him that we mention that in this episode.
That's huge.
So there you go. Played the golf of his life.
The one thing we said to him before he left, I think everyone could agree, we said, be sure, we want you to smack some nice balls while you're out there. And it sounds like he's doing that.
Yeah. He's very good at that.
Well, I can't wait to hear the full rundown whenever we get back for the first.
I can wait. If we did not hear about that, I would be totally fine
for the first half
that.
Hour of next week's podcast.
Those stories are boring, almost as boring as my 10-year-old soccer player stories.
Everything pretty much as you would expect it. The Sarr injury is not great for managers. Also, Anthony Gordon left with a hip injury, which apparently he was carrying even before this.
He was.
Which is
he was already
fantastic.
triangled. Yeah, that one's an odd one to me. Sarr and Gordon are both in my team because they have the potential to do damage. Gordon has not done much.
No, he's not.
But Sarr has been so good, but only when I play him, he doesn't do anything.
Real life football, he's been fantastic. FPL points for whatever.
Unfortunate.
Dried up. So Europe is over. It's stats time, everybody. Buckle up. Travis, I've got all kinds of things for you here, and you need to answer some questions. Let's start with the big result from last week. So Erling Haaland, all the gloating that was going on Saturday for the Gabriel captainers quickly went to silence on Sunday after Haaland's performance against Bournemouth. Travis, for Erling Haaland this week, which narrative do you want? You should captain Erling Haaland because it's Haaland and they're at home and they're rolling? Or do you go away from him because, Liverpool's improving and Liverpool has sort of figured it out here in the last two games? I have some numbers for you on this in a second.
I would say Haaland has not performed well against Liverpool's defense. They have tended to do pretty well. I would imagine the stats would support that. And
True.
Therefore, I would say not because Liverpool's improving, but because Liverpool does seem to have a knack for taking big-time players and shutting them down, and I'm probably going to regret saying that.
FPL Olympian reminded everybody this week that Haaland, I'm sure other people did it too, but I saw it from him first, that Haaland has scored just 2 goals in 8 starts against Liverpool. So
it's not nothing, right?
It's not nothing. I'm sure there are times where there was a free-flowing, like super fun or dominant Manchester City where he was held in check. I'm not sure. I don't know how to translate this because here's what to do. Here's what you need to figure out what to do with this. First of all, you have Manchester City and Erling Haaland at home, which is a thing.
Yeah.
So this is the first part of that is that prior to Aston Villa last week, Liverpool had conceded 28 big chances so far this season, which was most of any team in the Premier League, more even than Burnley and West Ham, who had 27. Excellent. Obviously, you conceded 0 against. Or I don't think there was any. I'm not even sure how many shots on target Aston Villa even managed last week. But either way, if it was any, it was 1, and I don't think it was even 1. So you have that up against you first. Second is that at home, Manchester City have scored
3 saves, so I would assume there's at least a couple.
13 goals for Manchester City in home games, number 1 overall. They've attempted 78 shots, which is 15.6 shots per game, third most overall. Leeds actually is ahead of them, and then Manchester United is slightly ahead of them too. They're averaging 6.6 shots on target per game, number 1, and 11.24 XG in home games, also number 1. Liverpool, not just because they've conceded a lot of big chances, but they're not exactly great on the road. Maybe you know that. Maybe you can sense that that's true.
Yeah.
11.6 shots allowed per game, which is 9th. It's not the worst, but it's down there a bit, mid-table-ish. 9.36 XG allowed in home game or in away games, 4th worst. Bournemouth, Manchester United, and Burnley are the only teams worse than Liverpool in away games. Do you know who the road opponents were for Liverpool so far? Newcastle, which a meltdown against it with a man advantage.
Yep.
Burnley.
Yep.
Bailed out by late penalty. Yep. Crystal Palace. Smackdown.
Yep. Not great.
Chelsea. Less of a smackdown, but still an annoying loss.
Yeah.
Brentford. Complete faceplant.
Looked terrible.
Not exactly like a murderer's row here.
No.
Of opponents.
No.
And so that's the part for me where I'm like, when we talk about captains, to me there's so limited options based on matchups this week So that's where I'm kind of like,
you're still going to do
this
it.
city, this Haaland at home against this so far overall this season in away games, Liverpool feels different. If it was at Anfield, I think then I mean, I feel like it would be a lot safer.
And they're coming off a midweek match. It was a tough matchup. So I do think there's going to be a bit of a hangover from that, especially given the fact that we're probably going to have to swap out both fullbacks.
Right.
Because they've been getting so many minutes. So, yeah.
Who is going to play on the right? Szoboszlai.
No, well, I don't know. I think he might need a breather. I think I would not be surprised if he didn't start going out. But truth is, like, if he's fit and he's fine, he's probably going to. I don't know if he's going to start in the right back spot though. I mean, yeah, I see a world where Calvin Ramsey gets a run as well. You don't really want to throw him on against City, but just because again, we are going to have to start rotating pretty substantially. So without Frimpong available, with Kirkes not really having a
wait, where would Kirkes play?
His left back
on the left, which means he would be matched up against Savinho, maybe.
Yeah, generally, I think that Savinho's been playing out there. They've also played Oscar Bob out there as well. I think out towards that side. I don't think
you want Kirkes against anyone.
Yeah, it's not great.
So anyway, I mean.
And I will also say, I mean, Ryan Cherokee has been just
he looked
incredible.
Great.
I think that's contributing pretty strongly. It's not just Foden. It's not just Haaland. Other guys are starting to step up and do stuff. And O'Reilly looks awesome.
I was going to say this little short-term rebuild that they've had to do.
It's starting to blossom for sure.
Next would be. I guess we have to talk about Arsenal assets. I just want to say that, first of all, surely I can't avoid
What if
Gabriel.
we didn't? But what if we didn't? What if he's just not here and we just didn't talk about Arsenal
Can
at all?
I avoid Gabriel again this week?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I think that's a move that needs to probably happen.
I'm just feel lucky that he hasn't gone up in price twice already.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened. I want to see, I know that there was no injury or anything. He did sit down there in that game to get his face patched up for whatever hit he took during the game. That made me a little bit nervous about the pause, but it was not enough to do anything. I'm sure all the normal starters will be out there again. Although Calafiori, yet again, the only guy who has not played in those games, to me, proving more and more why he's such a Premier League unicorn, as Dave wants to keep saying.
He loves that word.
I will say this.
Means what you think it means.
Here's two things. One, I do still feel the same about their ceiling this week.
Who's that?
Arsenal playing at Sunderland.
Really?
4th place Sunderland. Surely the biggest surprise of the season. How can they not be? What's a bigger surprise to you this season other than Sunderland being tied on points for 4th?
No, I think Sunderland is definitely up there. I think Leeds' form has been pretty good too, but I think Sunderland definitely out surprises them. But yeah, no, I would say from a good surprise standpoint, Sunderland for sure.
Right.
From a bad surprise, West Ham being as terrible as they are is like mind-boggling.
Sunderland at home, 11 shots allowed per game, 11th overall, 4.85 xG allowed in home games.
Nice.
4th best. They're 4th best. 3 goals allowed at home so far, which is also
nice.
4th best. 2 goals allowed from open play, 1 goal allowed from set piece. What I was going to say is the reason why if there's a set piece breaker team, it's the team with an extremely competent goalkeeper. So Rofes has been fantastic so far this season. And who doesn't have or has not at least considered Alderete or Mukiele for one of their defender positions?
Yeah, there's been a lot
they've
of people
been
bringing them
extremely
in.
good.
Yeah.
They're big bodies, and they've been extremely good this season. And so I just wonder, like, I'm not saying don't captain an Arsenal player this week. I just don't see in any way like how going to Sunderland is going to be some cakewalk for them, and people talking about like this is an easy week to captain Saka or something. And I was like,
that doesn't track.
So I'm just, for me, I still feel the same way. I feel maybe a little bit stronger. I don't want to put Sunderland on like they're as if they're going to win or something. But I wonder if Sunderland at home can't be the kind of team that finally breaks this, the run of clean sheets. I know. I wish, Dave. This is where I wish there was.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Saka, just to kind of check in on him for a second. I know he's very popular. He's a little tough to get to, which I think is why his transfers in is kind of low. Because who are you moving to get to him? He just hasn't had the performances to warrant, like, I've got to get him in. Here's your Saka numbers since he came back from his injury. I know that when he came back, he only played a half. So he played 45 minutes in that first game in game week 5 when he returned from his injury. He's got 1 goal, 0 assists. That's not what you want
from an expensive asset like that.
And he has scored 24 FPL points, which is tied for 15th most. So he's the 15th, tied for the 15th highest score.
It's more than Wirtz.
It is, on the bright side, more than Florian Wirtz. Attempted 12 shots, which is pretty good. He's in the top 5-ish for that. For example, like Brian Mbumo also has attempted 12 shots since game week 5, so fine. 5 shots on target, which is tied for 4th most. 2.28 total XG, which is 4th best. So that is good. He is definitely getting the chances. 1.52 non-penalty XG, though, which to me just says more about like I just think it's more about the limited ceiling for the way teams are playing Arsenal. That's all. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's not going to capitalize in one of these games at some point. I just don't know, or I don't see why it would be Sunderland that's the team that is all of a sudden decides we're going for this.
Yes. Do you think Sunderland sits deep and tries to hit him on the break?
I don't know, because a better podcast would be able to break down the Sunderland tactics and how exactly they might be able to do this. I would guess that because Granit Xhaka is there, unless he's a secret, like a double agent, and he's there to throw the game, that's been one of the reasons why they've been so good, is that they have a true stalwart of a leader there in their midfield. So I'm not saying he's going to be the thing that kind of like he's the secret weapon or something like that. But I do wonder if they should. I'm sure the game plan for Arsenal will be similar to what we've seen, and also I would expect it to be good.
Gyökeres is likely injured.
Yes.
Does that play a factor in that?
No, I think it's still the same because he won't. I mean, who comes in?
He's
Marino?
not. Are you trying to say he's not that good?
Yeah, Saka's not that good. No, Saka's great. I love Saka.
Gyökeres. That's what I'm talking about.
Gyökeres
is out.
Gyökeres, that is one where I did mock that idea. The Gyökeres, I could put that at the top of the show. I mocked the idea that what was Gyökeres going to do? Score, and of course he gets like the easiest. He could have like breathed out and knocked it would have went in. The one thing where Saka's been really unlucky is that he has 12. He's created 12 chances since game week 5, which is 5th best for midfielders. 2 big chances created with a 1.66 expected, an XA of 1.66. Definitely unlucky to have come away since game week 5 with not 1 assist. So just because set pieces, because just his general chance creation. The fact that Declan Rice has outscored him so much. He's not just outscored.
It's wild.
Readily outscored by Declan Rice, safely outscored by Eze since game week 5, slightly outscored by Trossard since game week 5.
Yeah.
So every one of those guys, not to mention they're significantly cheaper, but to be outscored by the rest of the Arsenal midfield, I almost wonder if Martinelli had been healthy this whole time, if Martinelli wouldn't have outscored him too. So, and now like if Gyökeres is injured and Mikel Merino, if you get non-Premier League matches, Mikel Merino coming in here and doing what he's been doing.
Late season last year, he was on a tear too.
He's 5.9.
Yeah.
I mean, if you know for sure that Gyökeres isn't going to be, he's out until after the break. So he's probably fine enough like that. If you have him, you might, I don't know, you have him, are you selling him?
I think that's what I'm kind of toying with right now. I think I am going to move him on, mostly just because he's so expensive. I can just swap him for Mateta, who I don't already own.
Right.
Why wouldn't I do that?
Or Pedro.
I already own Pedro, unfortunately.
I think it's the eye test a little bit with Saka. I feel like I've heard more of like kind of shruggy sort of what's he doing performances. Doesn't seem to have the dominance, and I know he's going to get double teamed often.
Kind of seems kind of shruggy is a decent word, but more so like mopey.
Yeah,
almost mopey.
Yeah, I feel no pressure to move things around to get him. I don't see how you couldn't look at Bruno. I don't see how you could look. I mean, honestly, Declan Rice is the one. Like, if you were picking, if it's just those two, how in the world do you possibly not say, I'll just take Declan Rice?
Yeah, I've had him for the last couple of weeks as my do what Brian says transfer.
Oh, man. I should have just taken him from the beginning.
Worked great.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been fantastic. Anyway, just that I think that there's going to be, I would guess there will be recommendations to captain Saka or find ways to bring him into the team. There's I don't know. I feel it's like the least pressure I've ever felt to make a move for someone. I feel way more, I would say like there's way more urgency to get ahead of some of these either fixture runs or like recent performances where it's like you have kind of the smallest tiny window here to get ahead of some of it. I just don't. I wouldn't. Marino, if you knew Marino was going to get a run of starts, I would say like why not? Yeah. Why not take a chance on him for the price?
A decent punt.
If I knew that Trossard was going to get a run of starts, I think Trossard has been fantastic. So I don't know how you can go there. I feel like the security of minutes, I feel like the way that they are a little bit limited, although if Dave was here, I'm sure he'd be happy to talk about how Gabriel Jesus is back in training. So that is kind of reinforcements are on the way. But anyway, it's just it seems like it's such a narrow transfer tree here for Arsenal players. But anyway, enough about Arsenal. Let's get back to Liverpool. How about back-to-back goals from Mo Salah? Does that do anything for you?
Not at his price point. He's just not
10-pointer this time though.
Yeah, not at his price point. Okay. I don't think. He's close, but I just don't see it at this moment.
You know, since I just went back to game week 6 because I was like, first of all, I like arbitrary
number of match weeks.
Yeah, statistical analysis. But just looking at from when they started losing, I think like that run of 4 losses in a row or whatever it was. I think it was 4. Was it 4? They lost 4 league games in a row.
Yeah, 4 league games more.
And then so then this last good game. So, but since game week 6, Mo Salah has attempted 16 shots, which is tied for first. You know who he's tied with? You're going to love it.
No, I don't know.
Jacob Murphy.
Interesting.
Newcastle, Jacob Murphy.
Interesting.
16 shots for Salah and Jacob Murphy since game week 6. Salah's got 5 shots on target, which is 4th best. And then 12 shots in the box, number 1. 6 big chances, number 1. 3.16 XG, number 1. Salah back on top of some statistical things despite their bad results. 33 touches in the opposition box. Only Jeremy Doku has more than him. I'm not saying you go get him. Just saying.
It sounds like you're saying go get him.
This is positive in a way that was not the case up till game week 6. I'm just saying you now have him on the leaderboard, where before it was like he's being outshot by Szoboszlai, he's being outshot by Gakpo.
Yeah.
You had players on his own team where you're like, yeah, I'd rather have that guy. And now it's like, well, he's at the top of the list now. Do you feel like it's better? Is it noticeable in the performances, or are these just numbers?
For him in particular,
yeah.
No, I don't feel like it is.
Okay.
It is significantly better. But at the same time, I mean, again, with as bad as the team's results have been, the form in general has been largely due to the fact that they couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and we couldn't stop people from putting the ball back in the net on long throws and set pieces primarily, right? Okay. With the exception of Semenyo basically driving through the center of the defense. Right. There hasn't been a significant lapse on the defensive side except for set pieces and long throws, right? So defensive organization has been poor. But everything else has been fine. They just haven't been able to find the final ball or make a finish, right? Yeah. So the fact that Salah is all of a sudden able to do that is not necessarily surprising, but at the same time, I don't know that he's going to go out in a flourish, right? We got 3 weeks, 4 weeks left of him before he's gone.
Yeah, true.
I don't think now's the time to rework your team.
It's to me, it's still funny to sort look through the numbers, sort the midfielders, and you're like, man, he's just been pathetic. And then you look and you're like, nope, he's on 52 points. Fine. 1, 2, 3. He's got the 4th most points for midfielders. And I'm like, it's not that that's still good. I think it's just that you look around it and you're like, well, there's Declan Rice on 63. Semenyo still leading the way with 75. Caicedo ahead of him. Bumo ahead of him. Gravenberch 2 points behind him. Granit Xhaka 3 points behind him. Joao Palhinha has 4 less points than Mo Salah this season. Palhinha. Who's buying that guy? Not one person.
Well, now he's going to score again. Way to go. I'm getting him in now, quickly.
If you want to do some popcorn here with some names on the cheap midfielders, top scores this week, you can safely ignore, I think, Diego Gomez from Brighton.
But he scored 2, didn't he?
He did.
Come on.
His first attacking returns of the season. I will say, so 16 points, his top scorer this week. That he started 4 of the last 5 games. This is from, was it Birmingham Live? I can't remember where I saw it, or maybe it was just a Brighton blog.
You're looking at me like I should know.
Who covers...
I was not with you when you were reading whatever this is.
Who covers Brighton? 4 of the last 5 games started while Matoma has been injured. And so Matoma could be back this weekend. That's when the earliest as far as premier injuries has him returning. There's no way Matoma comes back unless he's really, really super fit and he just gets thrown in as a starter.
It's just not going to happen.
Wouldn't imagine that they do that to him, but whatever. So that's why I say probably safely can ignore Diego Gomez. But if you were to...
Why not?
He's 4.9. It's yet another guy that's a fantastic price. It obviously has some nice scoring potential. Talk me off the Ryan Sessegnon ledge.
He does this. He's been in the league for a long time. He was since he was very, very young. He does this. He goes on little jaunts. He'll find the goal, and you're like, yes, he's finally gonna make it. Tottenham banked on it.
I thought I was off the ledge fully, and then I saw Fantasy Football Scout. They put together a game week 11 wild card team. Guess who the 5th midfielder on their article
No.
Posted, available to view online.
No. There's this. No.
Ryan Sessegnon in their team.
It's not that he's a bad player. He's just, you're not going to get anything from him.
The fixtures for Fulham, I think that's part of it, is that Fulham does have a decent run of fixtures. I will say this. This is what I think would get me off of this. This will get
terrible
me back
differential,
inside.
but it's just no.
So obviously a big game this week. Goal and an assist, ends up with 14 points. He has started every game since game week 2.
Yeah, he's pretty durable.
Among midfielders since game week 2, he has scored 43 points. He is tied since game week 2. He is tied on points with Bruno Fernandes.
As if that's a good thing.
That is pretty much where it stops. He has taken 4 shots total. He has 3 shots on target. He has created 5 total chances.
Oh, come on.
He has 25 touches in the opposition box since game week 2.
Too many things.
Firmly outside the top 20 of midfielders. Unless crosses do it for you. 24 crosses for Ryan Sessegnon so far, tied for 8th most. He has the same number of crosses as Mo Salah and Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. I think it's more that I do like we saw this happen at the end of last season. I said it a few weeks ago. I wish he was still classed as a defender. If he was classed as a defender,
that changes things a little bit.
He would be in every team. Since he is classed as a midfielder, the appeal is way less, although he pulls another one of these kind of games. I think it's also that you can't count on Iwobi to score. Raul Jimenez and Muniz are going to rotate as the starting forward. Who's the Arsenal guy that they got? Why can't I think of the other guy that they've had?
Zubimendi?
No.
The Arsenal guy?
No, that they got Emile Smith-Rowe.
You were talking about Fulham. Okay.
No, from Fulham.
Okay.
Smith-Rowe he's not starting all the time. You're not doing. I mean, I was going to say put Harry Wilson in the Diego Gomez category of probably safely ignore.
Yeah.
Because Harry Wilson had a good game this week too.
He always has a good game.
But that's the thing. Like, there's no one in there where you're like, oh yeah, you can count on that guy. The only guy you can count on is Muniz or Jimenez, whoever comes off the bench when they need to score a goal.
Yeah.
Like the guy that you don't have that you're not going. So whoever, that's the only guy that you can like really count on. But that's why I'm kind of like Sessegnon for 5.4, who's doing like capable of having a good game. Where you're like, yeah, I don't mind that. I could play him in the plus matchups, and I would feel not bad about benching him.
I don't know at 5.4 though. I mean, you've got other options. I mean, Granit Xhaka's 5.1,
sure.
right?
That's
you've got. Yeah, I mean, Gravenberch is 5'6", not too far around there. Paulinho is 5'5", which we've talked about. There's some guys around that mark. I just don't think that's.
I have a Declan Rice question for you for when we talk about transfers. Back to Liverpool again. I thought you said that Ryan Gravenberch was not going to keep doing this.
I didn't think he would. I legitimately didn't think he would.
Why did he miss last week? Why was he 0 minutes?
Injury.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a slight injury.
I didn't look it up.
It was a precaution to hold him back. So, yeah, ankle.
Currently transferred in 7th most for midfielders.
I get it.
Do you believe that?
I get it. And you know what? He just always looks good.
Whose performances do you trust more enough to put into your actual FPL team? Szoboszlai's overall performances or what he did midweek and what he keeps doing in like occasionally in the league, but almost all the time for country and in non-league matches, or Gravenberch, the way he keeps somehow managing to do this in the league. I feel like you'd have to take a chance on one of them now as a differential, or else you're going to get stuck racing to get them when everybody leaves for AFCON. Yeah,
I would say Szoboszlai's in the form of his life. Gravenberch is just doing what he did last season.
We have been saying that.
But I have been adamant it's not FPL relevant, so it didn't matter.
Okay.
I do think it's starting to be relevant, but his price is just a little too high.
Yeah.
If he was priced what Gravenberch is,
6.6. Gravenberch at 5.6.
I don't know. Gravenberch is just, I don't know. I just don't see him being able to keep pounding the goals in, and because he'd have to.
The numbers, it's kind of like a little bit Sessegnon-ish. I think it's a little better than Sessegnon overall, and you trust that offense more.
Yeah, Gravenberch is not in the box ever. He is creating chances, but he's usually, hockey assist or 2 passes before the hockey assist, breaking the lines. And then the other thing is his shots, are usually in like the upper deck of the stands behind the goal, or, in the back of the net. And more often than not, it's upper deck, not the net. So I don't think that's the guy. There are better options.
You have Caicedo still?
I don't. I was considering bringing him back in again. I shook things up a little bit before.
How many transfers did you have?
I had 3 this week, and I have made them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
I'm excited to hear about that. Caicedo, again, with another annoying return. 10 points for him this week. Did that feel bad, seeing 10, a double digit from him?
No.
What is he, third for midfielder scoring this year?
Yes,
it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's weird, especially from a guy that is very clearly playing the Conte role, right?
Yeah,
like it's not like he's like changed positions. He's just finding himself at the top of the box and hitting worldies.
Is it sustainable for Caicedo? The numbers say no, but his performances so far basically are just a middle finger and
it's no different than Gravenberch. It's legitimately no different than Gravenberch.
58 points. Yeah, it is third. 3 goals from 4 shots on target.
Jeez.
Absolutely unsustainable. 1 lucky assist from a total of 5. Not lucky. I mean, it was he puts pressure on people. 1 assist from a total of 5 chances created. Hilariously unsustainable. The only sustainable thing, defensive contributions, 126 DEFCONs, second on the season in total, second only to Elliot Anderson. But hilariously, not who just said it. I had it marked down. Just the idea that like if you do it on a per game basis, it's kind of dumb because like you had with Senesi, where it's like the first 4 game weeks.
It's like 900, but it didn't matter because it was only like 3 points.
Right. So was Senesi was the specific guy that was named. It was, I will tell you, it was.
You're going to get there. Land the bus.
FPL GOAT. Thank you very much. I can search. FPL GOAT. DEFCON stats per 90 feels so skewed. Game week 1, Senesi, 22 defensive contributions. Game week 2, 4. Game week 3, 4. Game week 4, you look at it and you're like, oh, he has 30 defensive contributions so far. 10 DEFCONs per 90. And you're like, he actually only got defensive contribution points one of those games. Yeah. So that is, it very much needs to be like, it needs to be presented that way. We did do that a couple weeks ago, if not last week. I can't remember when we did it, just to say everyone wants to talk about this. It's the reason why I said I don't care anymore. But just to say these guys with the top scores have only hit.
We need the standard deviation.
DEFCON
don't need the
3
per 90.
times, right?
We need the standard deviation.
You said Cherky. I don't know what to do with him except to say that he looked really good and got 2 assists last week.
He scored in Europe
and
too.
He was good. Is it enough to? Would you even dare 6.3? I
took a punt on Doku 2 weeks ago. I had him still, and because he did the same thing, he looked good with scoring in Europe, and had an assist. It's like, okay, this is it. They're coming on.
Yeah. And
then it just didn't go anywhere. So that's one that I would probably sit on, but it is really tempting. The Cherky is really tempting just because he's he is a quality player who he had a great season at Lille Lille, right?
That sounds right.
Lyon.
It could
Lyon
be
or Lille. I can't remember. He had a great season in France.
Was
He had a great season at the L team in France. I can't remember which one it was. Sorry.
For me,
sorry, Ryan. I know you're really upset with us.
I'm nearly. This is get Troy. Get the fact checks. Nearly certainly going to finally get Granit Xhaka in my team. I know I've been talking about this for weeks. Goal and 3
You
bonus
really
points.
think so?
Yeah, goal and 3 bonus points this week. Going for gets a double-digit return. 49 points for the season. 7th overall midfielder for scoring. He's 5.1.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a fifth midfielder, by all means, yes. But it's worth if you still own Reinders. It's absolutely worth.
I do not own Reinders. The reason why we've gone through this list is because all of these guys are in the low 6s to the the low 5s into like the mid 6s at most. 16 chances created by Granit Xhaka this season, also tied for 7th most from all midfielders this season. 5 big chances created.
Incredible.
Number 1.
How many red cards does he have?
He's only got 3 yellows. Wow. So he's on 3. That's what I'm saying.
He's really matured in his old age. Is he 65?
No. He's an adult, but he is not ancient.
Yeah, interesting.
No, and it's not even like last week I was like, I don't trust. I feel like we can just say this version of Everton is now outside the circle of trust. There is no trust with this team. And Dye's yellow triangle.
Yeah.
I think it turned out that was just a cramp, so that's probably nothing.
Hope.
That's what they say.
Muscle injuries typically are recoverable, and honestly, they need him more than just about anybody.
So, I mean, I know how much I would have been tempted by. I mean, that's one where I would say it took me a while to be wrong, but Jack Grealish has completely fallen off. Like, we have not heard. I feel like I haven't heard even a whisper of him, FPL community or otherwise. It's just not a drop off. I'm sure the performances. I'm sure he didn't lose. He's
fine.
I'm sure he's fine. Just not an asset in anybody's estimation right now. I didn't want to. There's no reason to go through forwards. There's like 4 or 5 guys that you're considering. It's the same 4 or 5 that have been available there for a long time. Again, only 7 forwards with a return this week, and you are picking between after it is Haaland and then whichever assortment between Mateta, Joao Pedro. If you want to go with Danny Welbeck, which is what I did, Danny Welbeck's in my team. Thiago from Brentford is still absolutely an option.
Yeah.
And then I don't think you're doing anything with Igor Jesus. Who's the Sunderland? Who was the guy that...
You can't say his name?
Yeah, Isidore. A consideration, but not somebody I think that you are like. It just the only other way to play it is to go to Guiu, and that's in the hopes that Guiu would get some starts, get some minutes, but it would mostly be to make it have a 4.3 playable player. That's the bottom line of it.
Right.
Here's my Bournemouth numbers. Check this out. And I don't know what to do with this because this is crazy, man. I wish I had known this last week. As of game week 6, okay? So when we talked about Bournemouth, when I was on Wild Card, one of the reasons why I put Petrovic as my goalkeeper, why he was a selection for me for my goalkeeper. 1, he was 4.5. 2, at that point, game week 6, they were one of the top overall defenses in the Premier League. They were 3rd best for XG against. They were 2nd best for at home. They had a 1.24 XG in home games. They were still pretty good in away games. They were still 6th best for XG in away games. They had allowed 40 total shots, which was the 2nd fewest of anybody in the league at that point. So Bournemouth looked like like they were
The real deal.
up near the top of the table.
Yeah, and they were
and
second place for a while.
defensively, that's like part of the reason why Senesi was like a no-brainer. Got to get him in the team, not just for DEFCONs, but because Bournemouth was quality. As of now, do you want to know what the numbers are now, Travis?
If I say no, you're going to keep talking. So yes,
you can walk behind the curtain and plug your ears if you want to. At home, as of this week, Bournemouth defense in home games, 2.44 expected goals against, the lowest XG against in the league. Yes, lower than Arsenal.
Wow.
Arsenal's is 3.04. All these numbers coming from the team statistics tables available on WhoScored.com. Who Scored for all the most quality player ratings. Go to WhoScored.com.
Thank you for fulfilling your
2 goals.
Sponsor requirements.
They have conceded 2 goals in home games. Only Arsenal has allowed fewer. I think you can guess how many. Again, on a slightly higher XG against. So Bournemouth has conceded 2.
Because of Gabriel.
Gabriel by himself. His goal threat and his goal defense threat. Off the charts. 36 total shots allowed, 7.2 shots allowed per game, second fewest, only Arsenal is ahead of them. So the Bournemouth defense at home,
incredible.
Top 2. Away games.
Yeah. Well, I know, they've played Crystal Palace, Manchester City,
you know where this is going.
Leeds, and they've not been good results away. And I know in that Crystal Palace match, I think their expected goals conceded was like almost 5 or like 4.5 or something
10.9 XG against in away games. Third worst.
That's incredible.
Mentioned it a little bit ago in reference to Liverpool. Liverpool's
incredible.
4th worst. But in the away games, Bournemouth is the 3rd worst right now, 3rd worst defense. Manchester United and Burnley are the only 2 teams with a higher XG against so far this season in away games.
That's crazy.
12 goals conceded, tied for most with Burnley. 78 total shots, 15.6 shots per game conceded, 3rd most. Everton and Burnley are the only 2 teams ahead of them. So incidentally,
don't bet on Bournemouth away from home.
Goalkeeper Petrovic, 10 saves total in game weeks 1 through 5. That was 6 saves in game week 1, 1 save in each of the following 4 games. Okay, so 10 total saves in the first 5 games for Petrovic. Game week 6 to 10, 21 saves. A save point in every match, no fewer than 3 saves in any game since game week 6.
He faced so much more.
Oh my God.
Wild. So so from Petrovic's standpoint, you weren't getting the clean sheets you were hoping for away from home, but you were at least getting a couple of extra points on
this is like
the defense.
I guess. Whoever they've played at home, which I didn't write that down. I didn't put that in these notes here, but just to say,
Forest, Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton, Wolves.
Not great. A couple teams who are capable, but still, that probably says a lot.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder, they finally run into a buzzsaw this past week and
legitimately
actually get buzzsawed. So I do wonder, what happens when they play a actually good team at home.
Yeah.
This week is...
So Sunderland away, West Ham at home. Sorry, Villa away.
So they're away to Villa.
West Ham at home, Sunderland away, and then Everton at home.
You play them in the home games and feel okay about it. But other than that, I don't know. Because this is a Bournemouth team that for a second there was this is actually really awesome. And 3 weeks ago, as soon as Evan Nielsen's injury was guaranteed, Krupi was an immediate hey, go get that guy. It paid off immediately.
Yeah.
And so Evan Nielsen's back. I don't think he's nearly as safe. It's not a safe pick now.
No.
But a lot has dried up. And so Semenyo was one of those guys where it seemed like unthinkable. Even now, you look at his total points and you're like, I can't possibly sell that guy. Big Man Bakker sold him a couple weeks ago, I think, and he was right. I think it ended up being a guy where you're like,
yeah, I agree.
I went against him, and it's kind of okay. And I wonder if offense defense here, home and away, isn't a factor. So I did see a couple, even last week, there were a couple accounts that were like kind of like questioning the decision-making process that led to people benching. Did you have Semenyo? Did you play him against Manchester City?
Yeah, I did.
So I benched him, and I don't think I cared. But I would if he had scored, I don't think anybody would have been surprised. But
no, but
they just didn't do anything.
It was a weird match for sure, and City was on top of them from the start. They did have a couple of opportunities, and they were okay, but they just weren't dominant like they typically are. But it did look like they were going to come back there for a short little second, but that was short lived. So
anyway, I just wanted to to me, like watching, like looking at those numbers, and you get to the point where you're like, hey, they've been really awesome this season so far, and then you look and you're like, oh, actually, like they started way up high and now have kind of drifted back toward the middle. Defensively, to be that wild of a swing in the home and away splits, to me is just I mean, the competition says a lot about it, but still, like the fact that it's that by numbers that it's that good. Attack, I mean, that is an odd one. At home, they're 11th for shots in home games, which I feel like that's low. Away games, they are 7th. So I am not exactly sure what to do with some of the Bournemouth attacking statistics.
That is an odd one.
Their XG in home games is 5th worst. Would you have guessed that?
Not based off the numbers you just gave.
5.73 XG at home. They've scored 8, so they've overperformed their XG by about 2 and a quarter. But still, like,
so we're waiting for the crash on Bournemouth. Great.
6th best XG in away games, 8.14, and they've scored 9 total goals in away games.
So glad I brought in Krupi and Senesi this week.
Senesi's probably the guy. Senesi's one of those guys that is he's highly sold, and I think I understand it because he would be my guy going out.
Yeah, I didn't actually bring those guys in, just for the record.
Most everybody going to I feel like it's the same kind of obvious teams. You're building your entire defense around
Arsenal.
You're building a defense around Arsenal. So then it's kind of like, who do you pack around that? And the next names in the team, it's like, which Crystal Palace guy are you getting? I've got Gahey. Again, I don't think any of them are bad. And
Richards wouldn't be bad.
I don't hate if you said that you were putting
probably your best.
Munoz or Tyrick Mitchell.
Yeah.
I don't hate one of those guys.
Yeah.
But Chris Richards is probably the super bargain because he's still 4.5, and I think Lacroix is still at 5. Gahey is now the most expensive. No, Munoz is still most expensive.
Yeah.
But Gahey is now over 5. So it makes the other two guys now, I think, the more obvious pick. I don't know why it happened. This exact same thing happened last season with Nottingham Forest.
Yeah,
like, that was like
Aina Murillo
absolutely
Milenkovic.
beating the drum on why is everyone going for Ola Aina when the numbers not one time all season. The FPL output for a while was heavily in his favor on fluky goals and inflated numbers.
And he just
meanwhile, all the underlying numbers favored all the other guys, and by the end of the season, those ended up being the correct numbers. So anyway, does that cover it? Do you feel like there's any other guys? Do you feel like there's anything else that happened? I feel like that's mostly like the big scorers that happened. It's mostly feels like
pretty full. Honestly, I think we probably covered more than we normally do, so I think that's pretty good.
It feels like midfielders are still driving. that, and how are you organizing your Arsenal people?
Yeah.
Most people have already sorted Haaland. It's just kind of
Made
where
him
else
fit.
are you? What else are you doing?
Yep.
So
I agree.
anyway, transfers.
How many did you have this week? Just the one?
I still have one. I
Oh, no,
only
you
have
do.
one because I used all the frees that I had last week.
Okay. Are you going to use this one or are you going to save it?
Yes. But I want you to explain your 3 that you use because that's a lot.
More. Yeah. I sold Anthony Gordon,
Great.
Victor Gyökeres,
Okay.
and Joe Rodon.
Oh, wow. Who came up from Roden?
Gabriel.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great.
So Rodon to Gabriel
Totally
is
fair
like a
trade.
huge upgrade, right?
Yeah.
Gordon turned into Minta,
Okay, great.
and then Gyökeres turned into Mateta.
Extremely.
I think it's a conservative, but useful
Yes.
set of transfers. So,
I understand and agree with every single one of those. Although, you do have Senesi.
I do not. No, my
What's your
backline.
backline now?
My backline is Gabriel, Timber, Cucurella, Gahey, and Van de Ven.
Okay.
That's pretty great,
Well, I
especially
like it.
especially given the fact that Cucurella you probably should have punted on, but you didn't. And I got 8 points from Forest, 7 points from Tottenham, and then now he has Wolves, Burnley.
Yeah, I punted him out.
And then obviously Arsenal's going to be an issue, but Wolves, Burnley, yeah, he's useful.
yeah, very, very.
Why not? So
When did I punt him out? Was it on my wild card? I think I got rid of him on my wild card.
yeah, there was a point where it made sense to do so, and then he just kept getting
Like
points.
I wonder if I had him, I wonder if I would have played him against Liverpool.
Well, and that's the other part is that I pretty much have had him all season, but I haven't always played him. But every time I haven't played him, he's always gotten points. So
And he's so annoying.
Yeah, real annoying in real life and in fantasy.
So
And then, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say. So my big issue is that Gordon's got to go.
Yeah,
So Anthony Gordon's in my midfield. Gordon has to go. I have 2 options. Either one transfer, Gordon out. The pros of that are I don't take a hit. It allows me to bring in any midfielder under his price, which is Declan
A
Rice.
lot.
Declan Rice down.
Which is that's the play. Can you fit Declan Rice? Do you only have 2 other?
I only have one Arsenal.
Which is Gabriel.
No, which is Calafiori.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I would still have 0.6 in the bank
So you can go get Gabriel next week.
If I go from Gordon to Declan Rice. If I go as far down as Xhaka, I could have $2.3 in the bank. Okay, so
you're really
minimum
thinking
is it would be 0.6 left if I go from Gordon to Declan Rice, 2.3 if I go down to Xhaka. Okay,
as a Rice owner, the 20 points in 2 weeks is
it's fantastic.
Useful.
Just bathing in it, basically. The cons of doing just the one move, though, it's boring. It's boring.
Yeah, you're all about boring.
I still wouldn't have Gabriel. And then getting Declan Rice, then
Would you take a hit this week? Would you go
that's my other
Gordon to Xhaka and then move somebody to get Gabriel?
Yeah. So it would be if I get Declan Rice, I would have no way of getting Gabriel without selling someone else anyway. And I would still be in the same boat next week of having to take a hit to get him later.
Rice against Sunderland is not a bad
Right.
time to get him. Tottenham and Chelsea are next.
I like those better because I would trust that Tottenham or Chelsea think more of themselves to possibly try harder to go at Arsenal is what I think. I think they'll still set up basically the same. It's just that top to bottom, they have a little bit more talent, and also they are more volatile. So I think
susceptible on set
I
pieces.
would trust the attackers more in those games than I do against Burnley, against Sunderland. So the other option is take Gordon out and take a hit to get Gabriel. So my transfer out in defense, it's Senesi out, who's right now the fourth most transferred out for defenders this week. I totally get that. And the reason
I don't know. I haven't owned him at all this season, which is not a good thing, I don't think.
So if I do that, if I take out Gordon and Senesi, I would have, and Gabriel comes in for Senesi, okay? It would leave me with 5.7 in the bank. I can only go at that point. I could only go as high as Jaden Anthony or Ryan Gravenberch. Okay, so those are the guys at the top end of that, which means I'm priced out permanently of anyone superior. Sarr, Declan Rice, Caicedo, Szoboszlai, anyone over 6 then becomes unattainable without making other crazy moves.
I mean, you do have the AFCON.
True.
Wild card.
And so that's part of the reason why as much as I'm saying, like,
when's that kick in? Do we know?
It's in a few weeks.
It's December 12th, something like that.
I would say if you want somebody really helpful on this, FPL Focal a few days ago put together, tweeted an actual complete AFCON guide for FPL and has the names and players and country, everybody who's leaving for AFCON. Extremely good piece of work. Thank you, FPL Focal, for doing that. So yeah, I think that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not that, like, enthused about Ryan Gravenberch, but I am saying once AFCON happens, where's everybody going to go? You're going to go to these players. Who's going to, like, you might have, like, because Brian Mbeumo is going to be gone, so he's a top selected midfielder. Somebody's got to come in there. Ismaila Sarr is leaving. That's a top selected midfielder. Somebody's got to come in there. Salah is still highly owned, so, like, by percentage, that's a lot of people that still have him. So there's a bunch of, like, there's a few of those midfielders where it's like, all right, well, are you just going to go to somebody in their team? How popular of a pick is Szoboszlai going to be whenever Salah leaves? Probably wildly popular, very popular.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one for sure. Let's see.
So I'm just saying, like, I don't know how much I'm expecting. Like, if I were to go get those guys now, I don't know how much I'm expecting from them against Manchester City. But, you know, or what shock would it be if Alexis McAllister ends up being the hero of the Manchester City game or something? It's zero shock. Like, I think the only shocking thing would be is if it's Salah. Like, that would be the. I
don't know if that's shocking. I mean, he's the big game guy,
but
right?
It could be any of those guys. That's the thing.
It could be anybody. That's exactly it.
So that's the reason why, like, selling for someone like that, like, I've, in a way, like, the player that I have said, like, I think the best low price midfielder, period. I mean, I said it a few weeks ago. I didn't do anything about it, but I said it was Xhaka. That is the guy that I said I would want.
So you are going to go ahead and make that move.
So that is probably where I'm going to end up going.
Okay.
The rest of my back line would then be it would be Gabriel Calafiori, Gahey, Rodon, Reece James. So wearing my heart on my sleeve, Reece James as my selected Chelsea defender. I know, very nerve-wracking.
There was a time in which that would have been fine, but that time was 6 years ago and also a couple weeks ago.
No, and that's what prompted it. Against Spurs, it was fantastic. So against Tottenham, it ended up being very good. So I did not. That was one of the reasons why, like, I did not have Gabriel.
Great flash in the pan.
Didn't have Gabriel, but the back line that I started was Reece James, Gahey, and Calafiori. So
great. It was great.
I could have gone from, instead of a 7 from Reece James, I could have had a 12 from Gabriel.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Would have been better. But I wouldn't have, that's the thing. I don't know who.
You would have been able to take the moral high ground.
Who would I have benched?
As you have for 6 weeks.
The correct player to bench last week would have been either Anthony Gordon against West Ham. No way I was doing that.
No.
Or Brian Mbeumo against Nottingham Forest. And I was not about to do that either. So I'm not sure exactly how I would have set up. I probably would have ended up benching somebody who got a return last week. So anyway,
captain pick.
So here's where I was going to ask you. This is because of the fixtures. Do you trust the early kickoff Spurs and Manchester United? You could talk me into Bruno.
Not really.
You could talk me into Bruno just on penalty grounds and just that. I think there are goals in the Spurs Manchester United game, but it's early. Nobody wants early kickoff. Everton and Fulham, no. West Ham, Burnley, nobody's paying attention to that. The first team anyone is looking at is the bright green matchup that Arsenal has against Sunderland, which I say is false. I do not think that is as bright green as it looks. I do not think that Arsenal is going to cakewalk into Sunderland. I do not believe that will happen.
I agree with that.
I feel better about that prediction than I do about what Arsenal was going to do going to Burnley. I think that Sunderland is clearly a superior team with a clearly superior defense that can make it significantly tougher on Arsenal than Burnley could. So I am not backing a Arsenal captain.
It won't be a blowout,
And I think the best that you could hope for is a low-scoring, clean sheet for your Arsenal defender, which in that case, you're probably just on the same bonus point scale at that point. Anyway, so that's why even if I had Saka, that would not be a captain. Chelsea Wolves is the next place everyone has kind of circled, but who? You have Pedro? You captain Joao Pedro?
No.
How could you possibly trust that?
No.
Maybe you captain a defender, but I don't think I would want to do that either.
Yeah.
So that to me feels like if you want to go Pedro because he just got a return last week, I guess. If you have Enzo, I guess you maybe.
Caicedo, maybe. Yeah,
maybe you could do that, but it feels like, I don't know, doesn't feel great. Villa and Bournemouth, there's no way you're touching. The form for Semenyo even.
It's weird.
Can't count on it, especially away to Villa. I just don't know. Too unpredictable. Brentford, Newcastle.
Same. It's a wash.
You going to captain if you have Woltemade? Are you captaining Woltemade? No, absolutely not. There's no way. Palace and Brighton. Do you want to know something cool about Palace and Brighton?
The M23 derby.
Since 2018, do you know how many times one of their matches has finished 1-0?
32 times.
No. Twice.
Wow,
2 times since 2018, the game has finished 1-0. 0 times it has finished 0-0. Minimum, this game since 2018, I think it's 6 times in 16 games, it's finished at least 1-1.
So you're basically saying go with Mateta or Welbeck.
If you are to find out that Sarr is going to sit, that probably isn't great for Crystal Palace.
No.
I don't know how much that impacts.
Breakaway
how much does that impact Mateta?
That's their breakaway speed, right?
Impacts him some.
I think I mean, so that's like a third of his threat is receiving the ball from either a saved Sarr shot,
right,
or a pass from a breakaway.
I don't know how much I would say. I know Crystal Palace has been good defensively. They are in home games. They are 6th for shots allowed per game. Home games against XG, Crystal Palace is 6th worst. So in home games, they are allowing 7.54 XG against. So they are only Everton, Brentford, Nottingham Forest,
So you're going Danny
Burnley,
Welbeck is what you're saying.
West Ham. Crystal Palace defensively, they've only conceded five real goals, but they are overperforming. Brighton is better than them in home games, but that doesn't matter. It'd be there or away.
So that's an option, but it's a dicey one. And which side do you get on?
I would say that I would want the attackers in that game. I like the attack, but it feels like the kind of thing where I'm like, there are goals in it. There have historically been goals in it, and you would trust the goal scorers, which right now, that was one of the reasons why I was like, hey, I'll hedge toward Brighton. I really genuinely think their attack is really good. Yeah. Danny Welbeck. Now, people not just recognizing that he's good and in good form, clamoring for him to go in consideration for England, whether he's not the second best striker that England could put on their team after Harry Kane. He's been playing at that level and that quality.
Yikes.
So it's the reason why I
been pretty durable too, truthfully.
I don't hate it. I'm probably not going to do it.
So you're not doing anything in Nottingham Forest Leeds.
Because no one has any players from those teams anyway. That leaves Haaland.
Literally is Haaland.
That's what I mean. So this week, I'm like...
So you're just trying to justify the fact that you're captaining Haaland.
I'm just...
and it's boring.
Right. It's completely boring. But looking through, I'm like, I would have to go... I don't think it's crazy to go... I don't hate the Bruno pick. I do not have the historical numbers. I do not know exactly what it is that Manchester United has done historically against Tottenham at Tottenham when they're playing away. I assume that it's two teams who are genuinely top, they're playing as top teams. They have been Manchester United playing much better. Tottenham still at or near the top, quality. So I'm glad it's on Peacock. I'll just say that. I have not been able to watch most of the early kickoffs because they have tended to be not either on NBC or USA, and I don't have a subscription to either of those to be able to watch the early kickoff. So I'm glad that game is on Peacock early in the morning. But other than that, it's like the most obvious choices. It's Manchester United, Spurs, but only on the grounds that they're both of the attacks for those teams have been very good. It's Arsenal at Sunderland. That's extremely safe, but to me, a low ceiling contest. Chelsea at Wolves, but who do you trust out of there? I'm not. You'd have to be a psycho.
You don't know what's gonna. Yeah.
Maybe that Pedro will get some love for captaincy. Maybe. And then it's you just have to hope that there are goals in Palace and Brighton, which the Sarr injury really messes that up.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying,
yeah.
How Not Haaland is the name of the podcast, unfortunately.
Okay.
Last thing, just that I've seen lots of people talking about this. How would you feel about an FPL rule that you couldn't captain the same player in consecutive weeks, or you could only captain a person, so many times in a season just to avoid this exact kind of situation where everybody's just captaining the same guy every single week?
I wouldn't hate it. I know that a lot of people would hate it. But yeah, I wouldn't hate it. That's an interesting idea.
I think I'm kind of for it. I'd be more for it in you couldn't captain the same person consecutively. I kind of like that idea. But if it was you could only captain each player once, or once each play it, use it you can only captain them once.
Only captain each player once per game week.
Once per half of season.
Oh,
first half, second half.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
I feel like we're getting into a stretch to try and find more interesting ways to administer the game.
We just talked about it last week. Haaland has yet to be the top scoring player in any game week.
Yeah,
you could have picked against him any game week and gotten a higher score on your captain.
But you never would. It's because it's always some obscure person.
When would you have captained Daniel Ballard from Sunderland?
Or Gomez or whatever his
Right.
name was, right? So it's just, come on.
Right. Anyway, I just thought in the captaincy discussion that's popped up a lot this week, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, somehow, without Golf Man Dave, we've still managed to come up with over an hour and a half worth of content.
I think that's most everything. Do you have anything else?
I have one last. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't have anything. I never have anything.
We'll see how my moves go this week. I'm really curious to see what I end up doing. I can't wait to find out.
Good.
I can't wait to find out if I sleep through it again and end up doing nothing. And then it crushes me to not have Gabriel, and then Dave comes back and mocks me again to my face.
It was fine.
Hey, look, when Arsenal win 2-1 this week, and they have to do it on like a, I don't know.
Marino,
Marino
header.
A Marino penalty kick. Saka subs early or something. Well, everyone will be rethinking their strategy going into the international break.
It'll be fine.
Why don't you wrap it up?
To remember how he does it. All right. Well, that was a really good episode. Everything's great. We'll be back again next week for the FPL America podcast.
That's the one.
This is David Smith.
Yeah.
Until next time.